So, with my new split, I have an extra rest day, which is today. But since I'm already in the gym, I usually spend basically the whole of Thursday in the gym. I'm just going to do some abs, some mobility stuff, and have a little chat with you guys. I actually haven't trained the abs in probably 5-6 years. Funny enough. I don't think it's pointless or wrong to do it. But obviously, if you do heavy compound lifts, it's not necessary. Let's put it that way. So it's one of those things I've been neglecting quite a bit, especially since my trunk, it's quite thick and it's quite big already. Not that it was thick in even more training abs, to be honest. But yeah, it's just one of those things that it's not necessary. And so when you're short on time and short on energy, you just tend to, avoid doing. So yeah, I'm going to try to start making an effort, especially since, I'm filming. So yeah, first exercise is just a crunch. Usually suggest to do it on a Swiss ball, but my gym doesn't have it. So this Bozu thingy will have to do. Essentially, the idea is to go in full thoracic extension and then full thoracic flexion. The breathing with this exercise is super important. It makes a huge difference in terms of the amount of contraction that you get. So ideally, you want to breathe all the air out during the concentric phase. So when you get to the top, the rep doesn't end there. If there's still air in your lungs, then you're not going for full contraction. You're not contracting your rectus abdominis, which is your six-pack muscle, as much as you potentially could. I'm expecting to be really weak at this since I never really practice it, but let's see how it goes. Just the other day, I started to get a few cramps on my abs while lifting my leg. That's when I knew I was like, okay, I definitely need to prioritize training my abs a little bit more. Deep breath in, extend my thoracic rib cage sticking out, and then breathe all the air out. That's better. See how I'm shaking. This is partly good because it means the contraction is strong, but it's also a sign of how weak I am. Don't even know if you can see how much I'm shaking. Faster. Not my favorite thing to do, but I'm expecting a lot of soreness in my core. There you go. Cramping up already. Okay, so we did 4 sets of that. So second exercise, second ab exercise, and this is my last one because at this point I'm just embarrassing myself. It's going to be a knee raises, hanging knee raises. Luckily we got these pads here that make it quite easier to hang. They're quite comfortable as well. Just put it between the elbows and the armpits. And so yeah, the whole point of this exercise is to obviously go for thoracic flexion. So you want to posteriorly tilt your hips, almost squeeze the glutes a little bit to allow your whole thoracic section of your back and lumbar as well to just really flex and bring those knees as high as possible. It does get the psoas and hip flexors involved a little bit. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Actually, quite fun. Reminds me of when we were kids, climbing on trees at the park. Fuck, man. Those were the days. We really knew how to have fun at that time. Let's do some stretches. If I don't get any more cramps, just working on my shoulder flexion a little bit. The goal is to keep my spine as neutral as possible without extending my thoracic, and just really flex the shoulder overhead as far as possible, which, as you can see, is pretty shit here. And wait until you see the left side. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6. Fucking hell. This is well bad. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fucking hell. 3, 2. Oh, fuck. Oh, I forgot to say, you're not meant to rotate. You're not meant to rotate the elbows outwards, which obviously makes all the difference. The elbows still need to be pointing forward as you do that. Obviously, I'm just like actively contracting the muscle. This is not necessarily an optimal mobility exercise, not for everyone anyway. We mostly just used it to test your overhead mobility, your shoulder flexion, etc. But generally, most bodybuilders have really bad shoulder flexion, especially since not many do front raises. If you do front raises, it's mostly just going to be pronated, so the elbows are out and you're working on your side delts. Again, I don't really consider myself a bodybuilder, but I do bodybuilding. So, yeah. Let's do another couple of sets. It's really hard to not rotate that elbow. Funny thing is, before I injured my left shoulder, my right one was worse. So now I still got one that isn't great. I've got the other one, which is supposed to be the healthy one, that is worse than the bad one. So yeah, a bit disastrous. But anyway, we're going to do another one now. Still training for shoulder flexion. So the idea is to get my arm over the kettlebell by just forcing my shoulder flexion without obviously extending my thoracic. So now I can do it because I'm lifting myself off, lifting the chest off. The whole point is to have my chest glued on the floor and move my hand across, forcing my elbows to stay down, meaning pointing down, and keeping my arm completely straight. Let's see how this goes. Let's do a few more. Starting to get easier. And there you go. It's hard to not push with the other arm. Trying to use my body as little as possible. Okay. Now, moment of truth. Okay, not bad. My arm is bending a little bit though. Oh, there you go.
Fucking hell. I'm sweating. Almost there. Come on. Fuck.
Trust me, that was much harder than it looked. Final mobility exercise. Starting from the same position. This time I'm going to be raising my arms, bringing them across the body, behind my back. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done these. It's definitely going to be quite challenging, especially since my front delts are on fire. Like, I feel like I just trained my shoulders. You want to always be starting with like a neutral grip, like a fist. Some people like to just keep their thumbs up. Kind of helps them with directioning the elbows and putting them in the right position. So you start with a thumbs up, fist, neutral grip, and then you raise them together. Bring them back. And behind the body. That was terrible. Elbows down. So a little bit of internal rotation of the shoulder as well. And then elbows up. Retract the scapula. And bring them forward. And down. Whew. Okay, now. Down. Way back is slightly easier. Let's do a couple more rounds. Almost down. And then right jerk. It's done. Fuck. One more. I'm literally embarrassing myself. Why am I even filming this? You guys are not supposed to see this. I'm giving you the real shit. The stuff I'm shit at. There you go, guys. Another couple of rounds of these and then I'm done with mobility. I'll be doing a little bit of cardio and then go home and eat. I'm feeling pretty cooked, to be honest. I noticed that I always feel more tired on my rest days than I do on my training days. This is probably also due to my caffeine consumption, to be fair. But yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine today and he was telling me all about something that happened to him recently, and it's quite similar to me in a way. He's a very intelligent man. I'm not saying that I'm particularly intelligent, not at everything anyway, but he was telling me this story about what happened to him recently, and I asked him, what do you think this means? And he said to me, well, I don't know what it means, but sometimes I also don't really care about what it means. And this kind of shook me for a second. But then I thought about it and I was like, well, I mean, I'm the kind of person that is constantly always looking to understand what things mean and find the meaning behind things and why certain things happen, why we feel a certain way, what are the signals that the universe is sending me. And sometimes I get quite frustrated when I can't find the answer. And I almost force myself to find an answer, even when there isn't an answer at all, maybe. Not in a moment anyway. And funny enough, I got this tattoo here on my neck, the question mark. And that's exactly what it means. To remind me that sometimes we have questions that we don't have an answer to in the moment, but we still have to carry on. We still have to live our life. And maybe at some point, things will make sense. At some point, we'll find that answer that we're looking for. And this happened to me so many times when I was really using a lot of my energy to try to figure things out when I just didn't have the answer in the moment. And I think the risk with that sometimes is that you come up with an answer that you think is the truth on the basis of what you know at that point in your life. But perhaps there is more that you need to discover before you can have a more truthful answer. And so maybe you can put that question aside, or just accept that for a period of time you won't know the answer to that question, and that it's okay. You will still survive. And I always preach about being as analytical as you possibly can, and to try your best to not react to situations, and to observe how you really feel and understand yourself to the best of your abilities. And I still stand by that. But to waste all your energy to try to figure something out is very close to just overthinking, and you might end up making the wrong decision at the back of that too. And I believe there is a time for everything, and it will all make sense one day at some point, as long as you consistently stay hungry for the truth and you're as honest as you can be with yourself. And with that, thank you so much for being here, guys. If it's your first time watching one of my videos, I'm posting one vlog a day for a year straight. So feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.